Hello Nilay ma'am, welcome to the Expert Show. I'm so happy to have you, and this is one of the most awaited interview I was eagerly waiting for.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Radhika. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming, and so everyone who knows about Flutter will absolutely know who is Nilay. But for our new audience, could you share a bit about yourself?
Sure, sounds good. So my name is Nilay, and I work in the Flutter team, Flutter Developer Relations team. And as you said, a lot of people know me because I do a lot of work for the communities. Flutteristas, Flutter GDEs, a lot of people who use Flutter. We go to events. So this is all the work I do at Google.
Okay, thank you for letting our audience know about you more better.
Thank you. Yeah.
So before asking you about how you came across Flutter and built the amazing community around it, I would like to know what's your story of how it all started, like how you got involved in communities itself.
Sure. So, I'm sure some people would know about GDGs, right? Google Developer Groups. They are the communities all around the world, and they are run by users, like people like you and me in the past. So I was running one of those GDGs in the past in Turkey. I'm from Turkey. So I was organizing GDG meetups, GDG events. And then, yeah, I did a lot of events with the GDG in Turkey. And a few years later, we moved to United States with my husband from Turkey to US. And then when we moved, I was looking for a new job. So, this is a new country. I'm not like English is not my native language. I don't have any work experience in the US, so it was so scary for me. Just imagine all the imposter syndrome. And then I contacted the people at Google who were supporting GDGs. I said, look, I left GDG Istanbul there. It's in Turkey. I'm now in the US and I'm looking for a job. Like Google wouldn't hire me. I don't think there would be a job for me at Google, but just keep in mind, okay? So I'm looking for a job, especially related to community because I did some work. And then the person, Uttam, like he is originally from India, but he now is living US. He said, "Oh, wait, actually, we are looking for a community manager." And you did a lot of work with the GDGs in Turkey, so they hired me at Google. It was a contractor job, and then because of all the GDG volunteer work I did in the past, I found a job at Google. And then I worked there for 2 years. And then when I joined the team, it was 2016. There was no Flutter at all. Like I didn't know about Flutter. People didn't know Flutter. And all of a sudden, like people started talking about Flutter thing. I was at Google, but I haven't heard it. What is this thing? Wow, what is this Flutter thing? And then communities, especially like GDGs, right? They were like, oh, we want Flutter speakers. We want to do more Flutter stuff. And I looked like, let me look, what is this Flutter? And then I found about it and it was saying, oh, like you can build applications for mobile, for web, from one code base, single code base, easy to use, beautiful UIs, like amazing things. I was like, wow, this sounds so cool. And then I looked at the team, Flutter team, and they were looking for someone. And then this is how I joined the team. Since then, I work in the Flutter team.
That was so interesting to know.
Right? Yeah.
So what is the program manager role and what is your role as developer relation in the Flutter?
Sure. So program manager at Google is like a project manager, but imagine the projects are big programs, right? So many different projects come together, different events, different programs, different things going on. And as a program manager, my job is to make sure all these are organized, everything works well, everything is working together. And I'm also work with the community programs. Like what does community program mean? For example, we have Flutter GDs, right? That is a program. We want to make sure we can onboard GDs well. We have a good community around that. They get support from us. And then this community is growing. This community is healthy. We can collaborate with the team, Flutter team, right? We can get feedback from the GDs. We can They can give talks, they can create resources. So this is one program I work at, and I am responsible to think about the goals, what we want to do this year, how we can give this support, who can we work with, and to make sure this is happening. And there are different programs like this, like Flutterista is one of them. We have now Flutter meetups. They are like GDGs, but just focusing on Flutter. And then different internal programs like Flutter is attending Google I/O, right? And then how we can make sure Flutter is represented there well. So all my job is to make sure all these things working together in a very well manner.
Okay, that was so cool.
Thank you.
And this would also have given people more insights about your role and what all you manage.
Exactly, like a lot of things, and it's so good. And I'm so lucky that, like, community, I get to talk a lot of people outside of Google, right? People very nice like you, very talented, very nice, awesome. And I know you because of this job, right? And this is awesome. So this job has a lot of human part in it. It's not just that like we need to make sure that machines are working well. It's not like that. We need to make sure that people feel good, right? Because it is what matters. This is a lot of people job, and I like it so much.
That's the best part of the job.
Exactly.
So, according to you, what is the purpose of communities and how important communities are for Flutter?
Yeah, Flutter communities are so important for Flutter. Everyone in the Flutter team knows that community is so valuable and they're awesome. And let me give you an example, right? So we are Flutter DevRel team, right? We are 10 people, and all of our jobs is to make sure we have healthy communities, we have good Flutter documentation, we have good videos, we have good resource, so people can learn Flutter and can find answers to their questions in the community. But we are just 10 people, and there are how do you know how many developers are there in the world? Like, do you have an idea? It's a lot. It is like there are like almost 20 million developers all around the world. Not all of them are Flutter developers, but it's a lot of developers. And we we need to make sure that the developers who use Flutter are happy. They can find things. They can find people to talk with. They can find answers. They can find resources to, for example, learn how to add animation to your Flutter app. So this is why communities come here. They have a big role because we only talk to our communities like GDs, Flutteritas like you, and you create this podcast and you reach out a lot of people. So I myself wouldn't be able to reach out, talk to that many people if you are not there. So I'm just talking to you, and you impact a lot of people. So that's the reason we have communities and we pay big attention because this is how we scale our outreach. So we talk to communities, few people, but our communities talk to a lot of people. This is how we can talk to millions of developers.
Yes, absolutely agree with it. And according to my own personal experience, communities have helped me so much to grow. Like when I was learning web development, it was like I was learning all alone in my PC in one screen. But when I came into Flutter,
Right.
I found a huge supportive community, and this makes me feel like there are people out there who are watching me like I'm doing something. They support and they appreciate it, and it opens so many opportunities to grow.
That's amazing. That's amazing to hear. This is what we want. And now you are helping others right now, right? Like this podcast and all the videos you create. So this is awesome.
Thank you. And talking about communities, one notable thing is every year there is one big summit from Flutter, like Flutter Live, Flutter
Mhm.
Interact, and this year it was Flutter Engage. So could you share your experience about these events, like how these events help developers?
Yeah, so these events are like our celebrations for Flutter every year. So we celebrate Flutter at these events. We talk about what is new in Flutter, what because the team inside as well, they keep developing Flutter, right? And Flutter is open source project. A lot of people community. developing for Flutter. A lot of users and companies are building with Flutter. And those summits, those big events are like our celebration all together. Look at what we all did, people. Like, look how Flutter is awesome and what it enables us to do. And then, like all the awesome things, this is what we do, and this is what you can do next time. So these are our big celebrations for Flutter every year, and hopefully there will be another one next year. So let's see.
And we will also like to know your thoughts about women in technology, as the number of women involved in tech are pretty less, and that's a sad number. So how do you think communities like Women Tech Makers or Flutteristas or more such communities are helping it out and playing a crucial role in changing this situation?
Yes, you're right. We know that the numbers are low. It was much lower when I started this years ago. And then, but still, we have a lot of work to do. I'm not saying there is no improvement, but also still there's a lot of work to do. And those Flutteristas and women tech makers communities play a big role on this. And let me tell you why. So imagine that like there is a group, right? A lot of people awesome. There's so many awesome people. Everyone is so nice, welcoming. This is a great. But just you entered that room and then you looked around, and if you don't see anyone look like you, can you really feel that you belong to that group, right? So it's hard. It will be hard. So this is why we need more representation, like more space for them, and like Flutteristas creates that space for women and non-binary developers. Oh, there are other people like me. We are here, and then I can see I can do things. They do awesome things. We can grow together. We can learn together. So this is why these communities are important in terms of creating a space, a space for that. I'm not saying that rest of the community is not safe for them. It's not like that. And Flutter community, it's very welcoming, awesome, right? But it is more about creating a space for women and non-binary developers and create a self of belonging in the community so they can grow and they can attract other people like them.
Okay, that was very insightful. And here is also something I would like to point it out, like I really like your energy and the way you interact and communicate are really a full of life.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm learning a lot from people like you.
Thank you so much. So most people fear public speaking, but at the same time this is also a very crucial skill. So my question is to you, means do you like public speaking, fear, or were you natural in starting, or you have developed it slowly in the process?
Yeah, I have a lot of stage fright. Oh my goodness, all the imposter syndrome and everything. I fear a lot. And but during the years, I got a lot of training about how to overcome imposter syndrome, how to manage your stress on stage, how to engage with people, how to do storytelling. That's also important skill, so people would want to listen to you. So it happened over the time. Like now I like it. I like talking. I like going on stage. I still have fright, but I know some tactics that can help me to reduce my stress. Like, for example, you might remember we did the speaker training, right? Before the talking, like before the speaking, we also prepare our body to that, right? We take deep breaths, and then so our mind is ready for that fright, because it's fright. We are going to talk in front of people and it's not easy. Body is like protective, he's trying to protect itself, and this is why we are shaking, our voice is shaking, right? It is natural, but we can learn to manage that. We can learn to manage that stress so we can talk. And also while doing speaking, storytelling is important because you want people to listen to you, right? So I learned this over time, and I think anyone can learn.
I can totally relate to it. As in my case, I was the person who was afraid of speaking at a stage, and by being the part of Flutteristas, I got my very first chance to give very first talk, and which was pretty challenging, but was at the same time I really wanted to do that. So I did a lot of practice for it, and now I think the more we do, the more comfortable we get.
Exactly, and you were awesome. Your talk was awesome. Your engagement, your storytelling is awesome, and you are very right. Practice makes it perfect. So practice, practice. If you think that you can learn better, this
Yeah.
practice is the best way.
And now moving back to the community talks, I think community building is necessary for any technology. So what are some of the crucial things you have figured out in the community building and what's your advice on it, as community building is definitely a challenging task?
Right. So every technology is different. Every user community is different. So this is for sure we need to keep in mind. It's not that one thing works here will work in other community. It's not like that because this is very unique. The relationship you make with the people, it's very unique. You can't replicate that. But it is also important to provide some support or some people that community will know that, oh, there is someone that I can talk to, I can get help, I can find somehow help is important. And this is what Flutter did great. There was dedicated people like me who spent time with the community. We knew who our community is, right? When we say who is Flutter community, we can name people, and this is awesome because this is how we create an awesome community because we have good relationship. So for if you want to do this for any other product, I can't say that you can replicate the relationships. It's not, you can't. It is very unique. So every relationship, the relationship you and me have is very different and that can't be replicated. But there are ways that people can do. It is just like make sure that be there for community. Listen to community because they know awesome things. They have awesome feedback. And then spend some effort to help them, to get them support, and put community in first in every step by developing the product, by changing the product, by everything. So put the communities first because they are the real awesome power to make a product
Yeah.
great.
So could you give some of the advice or recommendation to GDG organizers or people who are involved in community work?
So definitely participate in the community work, spend time for it, volunteer on volunteering this such things. Don't think that like why I'm doing this, what is gonna bring to me, because it's hard to see the immediate effect. Maybe sometimes you can see the immediate effect, but in longer term, that is gonna bring awesome things to you. Like in my case, I found a job because of the community work I did in the past in a different country, right? It helped me to get a job. But it's not just that. When I was in Turkey, I got a lot of network. I knew a lot of people. If I wanted to change job, I was just like talking to people, hey, I'm looking for a job. So network is power. Also, the things you get experience in the community right here, you're doing a great thing. You're getting some experience on creating podcasts and videos and interviewing. This is an awesome experience. You can use this experience in all of your life. So don't think that why I am doing this. So please participate in the communities because this is gonna bring great things to you.
Okay, and people also talk about GDE programs. So can you elaborate who are GDEs and why there's a need of this tag? And what's the process and what do GDEs do?
Yeah, so GDs are external Flutter users outside of Google. They use Flutter, they know Flutter, and they know Flutter very well. And then they also do a lot of contribution in the community. They create talks, they do write articles, they create sample codes, sample applications, they create courses. So they also contribute to the community, give back to community. And we call them these people, individual people, Google Developer Experts, GDEs. And to be a GDE, there's a process. You'd go through some interviews to make sure that you're really expert and you're really good in the community. And after the interviews, you become a GDE. So currently we have maybe 70 GDs all around the world. These are 70 individual people all around the world, and they all do awesome things with Flutter in their job, in the community, to help other people. And we need these people because we need the expertise of this community. We need feedback from them. We need them to help other people. So this is why they're very important people.
Okay, that was great to know.
Hopefully we can be the GD someday.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Now we have came to the last part of this talk. So what would be your advice to people who are into Flutter?
Right. Flutter is a growing technology, and you can do awesome things with Flutter. If you need an application, you can build it from one single code base, and then you can have a mobile app, very nice mobile app, web app, desktop app. And also, it's very easy to learn. You can learn Flutter very quickly. There's an awesome community. You can meet a lot of awesome people in the community. So my advice would be if you want to learn Flutter, just start from something. It can be from the official documentation of Flutter on flutter.dev website, or it can be one of the courses that awesome people created. But start with the something and stick with it, finish it, create a sample app, and then play with things, watch videos, learn other things, share it with others. And then also, if you want, you can contribute to Flutter's code base because it's an open source project. Contribute to Flutter. You can contribute to Flutter's documentations. If you see there's something can be improved, just go do a pull request. So there are a lot of ways you can do in the Flutter world. And I think it's a great time to learn Flutter because it's growing. There's a lot of job opportunity with Flutter. A lot of companies started using Flutter and they are looking for Flutter developers all around the world. So yeah, hopefully you can be one, you are one of them, and then we're like you can build with Flutter. We're so excited like to have new people every day, and hopefully you can be one of them.
Yeah, I really believe that Flutter is future. That's why I see my future around Flutter so much.
That's awesome. We're so lucky to have you, so glad to have you in the community.
And I'm so glad that I got opportunity to meet such amazing people.
Likewise, thank you. Thank you so much, Radhika.
So thank you so much, ma'am, for taking your time out and sharing some of the great advices with us. And this was an amazing conversation full of learning. And I really want to thank you for coming and enriching the show with your valuable experience and knowledge.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much everyone for sticking with us till the end. I tried to cover every important topic that could be valuable and serve as an asset for you. So if you find this video helpful, then make sure to share it with all your tagged friends. And do hit that like button, it really motivates me to make much more quality content for you. And if you have any doubts, suggestions or feedback, then make sure to put it in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed till now, then make sure to hit the subscribe button because I'm going to come up with amazing content on this channel. And also another amazing episode is coming on the next Monday, so stay tuned. So now I will see you in the next episode. Till then, keep learning, keep growing. Thank you.